is Beansy Day. Beansy's bought out the stream for the whole day, and we've got 3 fantastically sweet decks to play. So we're going to be kicking off with Jeskai Blood Sun, which, to give Beansy away a little bit, I believe is the deck that they're playing on Sunday in the Hooglandia Open Series tournament. Super excited to broadcast that all day. This deck is based around Blood Sun along with Lotus Field here. So in a way, we're kind of a Jeskai ramp deck, but we're also not all in on this pack. So there's only 4 copies of Lotus Field. But when we get a Lotus Field alongside a Blood Sun makes Lotus Field just be a triple mana land that doesn't make you sacrifice anything. In addition to Blood Sun enabling Lotus Field, we also have copies of Tail's End here. So on turn 3, you can play Lotus Field and then Tail's End your own Lotus Field trigger, which is sweet. Past that, we're just a Jeskai control deck. We've got things like Seal Away, Abrade, Sweltering Suns as a sweeper, some cast outs here. We've got Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, which is not only just a good card, but is also incredibly powerful with Lotus Field. So this untap 2 lands at the end of your turn. If you have 2 Lotus Fields in play, actually makes you 6 mana. So you could play big, powerful cards like Sublime Epiphany and Torrential Gearhulk. So this deck's been sweet the last couple of times we played it. Let's dive on in again today and see how things feel. Hey, True Hero, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream this morning. Carlone, thanks for the follow. Good morning, good morning. We're also going to be playing Grixis Valky and Naya Mutate later. A few other 2 deck beans you picked up. It's our first time playing Yorion as the companion. It is not. It's the very first time we played this deck, we added Yorion, and we played with Yorion the second time. I like the Yorion inclusion. And there were a bunch of comments on the YouTube video last time that people were like, oh, we get to get Lotus Field less often with an 80-card deck, so I'm going to cut the Yorions. And I think those people are very silly. So don't leave those comments on my YouTube video again, people, if you're watching again. I think you're wrong. Oh, you'll have game audio now, thank you. I turned it off so I could listen to my balance because people were complaining. Yorion is worth a lot. It's worth 2 to 3 extra cards. You get those 2 to 3 extra cards every single game. Our deck is not an all-in ramp deck, so we do get Lotus Field less often being a Yorion deck, but that's also fine because our deck is designed to function without ramping. All right. So, we're definitely just murdering the land elves then, right? I'm just Valakut Awakening this turn. I'm gonna ditch these 2. I think Secure the Waste would be too good for Historic. I mean, Secure the Waste is a Pioneer legal card, right? So we're guaranteed to be getting that at some point. I mean, people talking about my opponent have their hand in the cookie jar, like we're kind of dying here, not having any cheap interaction. We're gonna get stomped here, and then they're attacking us down to 3.
Time for plan B.
Oh, they're killing my Teferi. That's so good for me. Yes, please kill my 5 loyalty planeswalker instead of my 8 life total.
How long do you want to wait for?
Hey, look at distraction. Matches like this are why we have 2 copies of Anger in the board in addition to our Sweltering Suns in the main. Yep, I think we're just dead, chat. I guess we'll commit one of these, but ah, shit. I forgot this is a trigger. It doesn't matter, we're dead. We're taking 4 and they're gonna add more to the board. This is a problem that control decks just have in all formats of Magic, you know? You get that wrong half problem we've talked about plenty on stream where, like, you know, we're playing against Gruul here. And, you know, we are hoping we've seen... How many cards bottom of our deck now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 cards at the bottom of my deck. So we're through 20, 25 cards out of 80 and haven't found a 4 of. 25 cards out of 80. Helvic, thanks for the follow. Good morning. I mean... the one card holding up Tail's End would have saved us from. That's funny. Our tail has ended, chat. Board out, Narset, commit in these creature matchups, bring in some extra spot removal and sweepers. Yeah, I agree, Investigate. I think we're supposed to draw the Yorion there. I don't think, like, the Gallia is, like, the Gallia is not a 4 of in the Gruul decks. Usually it's, like, 2 to 3 at most, so. This probably should have been mulligan. It's a lot of expensive top end. Chat! Do you not know how to check how long a stream's been live for, Avocado? You're not new. It's literally on the overlay. We've been live for less than 20 minutes. No, you haven't missed a deck yet. Come on now. Scary. This hand's on me. We got pretty unlucky in the first game, but I shouldn't have kept the 7. We're gonna die here and promptly deserve it. Wellborn Moose, thank you for the tier 3 and the 18 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's not true. We played Bloodborne for almost 45 minutes. I like Gruul as a deck. We'll give Gruul a smiley face even if we lose. Puddle Jumper, thank you for the half a year and for subscribing in advance with that tier 3. That's very generous of you. Good morning, good morning. Jiminy! Thanks for being here. I'm glad you're looking forward to watching Hoots. Hoots is looking to be a big tournament this week. We've got 78 players pre-registered already, which is sweet. Does mobile not have a counter yet? I thought mobile had a counter. Alright, we drew interaction this game, so that's nice. Oh, you know what? I should have Valakut Awakening probably, huh? Instead of this, that way I could do this into the... What's it called? I'm just gonna kill their thing rather than trying to draw a sweeper that's not guaranteed. Do I know what Lego games I have? I mean, yes. I have an incredibly deep pool of Lego games. Because we've played a lot of them. If you'd like my top picks, Lego DC Villains, followed by Lego Incredibles, would be number 1 and number 2 in my home. Most of them are varying qualities of good, but those two are the most popular with the kids. And I think they're probably the best games from that series. Generally speaking, if you see an IP that you like, just pick them up. You think your son has all of them? All of them is a lot. There are a ton of them. Egg main deck Ferocidon's a great choice for the opponent's deck right now. Is there a Star Wars Lego game on the Switch?
Hone your prowess.
Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. Upwards of 10. Yeah, we're probably close to double digits in my house. I wouldn't be surprised if there's double digits.
Meditate and prepare.
Do you think my opponent is in love with the Coco, chat? It feels like they're in love with the Coco.
Sorry, hurry.
We dead? Close to it. Yeah, agree on the Ferocidon, chat. Ferocidon does a lot more than just Angels. It's a good aggro tool in general. There's a reason why this card was banned when it was in Standard at one point. Yep, but correctly identifying, they should ignore my Planeswalkers. Let's see if we can win this matchup mulliganing appropriately in game 2. Back-to-back Gruul is odd. The only thing odd is you trying to draw a trend from a sample size where n equals 2. Stop it, TDM. You're not new here. We were talking about it in Discord. There was an article on the Magic.gg esports site titled something about how is big data impacted Magic, and it's just really funny because, like, while you could tell whoever titled the article isn't really familiar with what's actually considered big data, because while we definitely have more Magic data today than we've ever had, the Magic data that we have available is definitely very far from what anybody reasonable would consider big data. Like, if people who think what constitutes Magic data is big data don't realize the vast amounts of information we have on people. Yep, yeah, Jake just turned 7, Chris. And Declan's almost 6. I have a kindergartner and first grader. Okay. Blasket Whiskey, thank you for the third of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Clothis making my Torrential Gearhulks worse here feels bad. Correct. Yes, the number of variables that we have going on means that you need even more pieces of information than you otherwise would have. All right, well that's convenient that happened. So I think I'm supposed to do this looking for a sweeper, because if I find a piece of spot removal, that's an okay consolation prize as well. Yeah, okay. So I think we do this, and we do this, and we abrade this. Yeah, but the type of, that's not relevant to the discussion that we're having, Blue, because that type of data that's being collected isn't about games of Magic. So it's like not at all what we're talking about in terms of data being collected. Context is everything. Got him. Have I built an Emery combo deck? You mean like Paradoxical Engine? Yeah, we've played Paradoxical Engine on stream before. Oh, right. They can sack the Green Desert to get that happen. Sick. These are perfect, actually. So, Cast Out, Answers Clothis, and Tail's End can counter Ramanap Rune Trigger. Oh, they can't rune again because of Blood Sun. I wasn't thinking about that. It might have been wrong to blink the Blood Sun there, honestly, and taking 2. Yeah, that's a good catch. Yeah, Tail's End is definitely a card that's felt super reasonable in games that I've played. I'm not going to 4. I took a couple of looks at our 6 sweepers. Jeff and Fish, thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, well. Yeah, if you look on the front page of my YouTube channel, Justin, there's a historic videos playlist. A shock in case they have Clothis? Nah, I don't think so. I think they're pretty likely to play something that pumps up Pelt Collector this turn. I think I'm just Valakuting for a new hand here if they don't give me like a Clothis to Tail's End. I want the best chance at one of my other sweepers. Gotta go right now. Gotta go right now. I think I'm taking 4 new cards here in case I get land removal spell. Got a bunch of Abrades and Sealaways. Yikes. Yikes.
I'm known for my instinct. You need to slow down.
Did do a green land.
I won't hide from the world. We need to move quickly.
Rats, chat. They saw the attack with everything line. Yeah, I don't know. This matchup seems shit. How are we not dead on board? Well, I had this removal spell, so until they played the haste creature, we were not dead on board. I don't know. This deck's like fine. I think like I closed on last time. I really, these reactive decks in Historic are just such a tough sell. Feels very similar to Pioneer or Modern or Magic's other non-rotating formats. Like, hoping your answers line up well into what they've got going on is a tall ask. Like you draw, like games like that, right? Like we hope to draw a couple of pieces of 2-mana removal. We instead draw a bunch of 6-drops and Teferis, and like there's a different universe where like our things line up very differently, and we end up being okay there. But it wasn't that one. It could be that the rest of this deck is good enough against control that we're like supposed to cut some of our counterspells out of the sideboard and play more answers to aggro decks. And just like have some dead draws in our deck against control because we have Valakut Awakening to shuffle them away. You can see that being reasonable. Good for us. This is where the magic happens. Keep a 2-lander, see 4 extra cards, frickin' die.
I knew you needed my help.
I think I Sweltering Suns here, because this way if I draw a land next turn that's untapped, I can go Teferi and Seal away.
This is gonna hurt.
Probably just dead though. We died when we missed our land drop on 3. Well, notable compared to the last version of red-green aggro that we played against, our Tails Ends seem even better here. Opponent has a bunch of legendary cards in their deck that get tagged by it. Chandras and Questing Beasts and other things. Oh my. It doesn't look like they're a Collected Company variation. Looks like they're going a little bit bigger with Yarshan and more of a Naya mid-rangey deck. Mr. Sir N, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright, we're not going to miss our 3rd land drop this game, chat fam. Yeah, Yarshan, Questing Beast, Chandra, all cards for Tails End, like I said. Well, Blood Sun's not a very good hate card in these formats, Tezzereth. Like, nobody's really leaning on lands. Like, Blood Sun, unlike Blood Moon, is a good design. It's not a card that just, like, punishes people for playing Magic. You don't, like, cast Blood Sun and win the game. It's not terrible. No 4-mana play out of them is huge for us. Like, I just drew a bunch of lands and died. Boa, thank you for the 2 months. Welcome back. And Taylor, thanks for the 4 months. Good morning, good morning. Best tournament fee ever. I'm going to keep this hoping to draw a non-Lotus Field land. Perfect. It's just like we drew it up, chat. I think Lightning Helix would be a fantastic addition to Historic. This hand, like, keeping a hand like this, you basically just gotta ask yourself the question, like, how likely do I think I am to win if I hit a land? I think the answer is pretty high, right? Do I want a Deck in Stone here? Or do I want to just hold up Aether Ghost? I think I want a Deck in Stone. Let's keep them off my back. There could be some merit to keeping Deck in Stone for questing Beast of Yarshan, but I've got Aether Gust to tempo that. Alright, Chaos Rampant Growth. Let's see if we can afford to do this on the draw, killing one of their plays. Questing Beast here, we're gonna be in trouble. Kind of scary.
Hey, over here.
Chandra cracked the clue, hopefully. Stop, Chris. So, I let my opponent draw for the turn, but then before we get to their main phase, we Aether Gust the Chandra so they can't make mana or do anything with her. Yeah, the person saying Stifle Chandra's ult, that's not something we're gonna have time to have happen here. Man. Yeah, our mana's a little awkward. I can't Teferi and Tail's End and Seal Away. I guess I could just plan... I guess I could plan to cast out the Chandra after I Seal Away the Shifting Ceratops this turn. I can also Seal Away, hold up Tail's End. I think that's probably the line. The problem here is they could just play Bone Crusher Giant and, like, draw with the clue. Nope, got him. If they play around the counterspell there, we probably die. Because mana empties out of my pool when we change phases, Kid Martian. So if I Teferi and untap Lotus Field plus a land, if I Tail's End Chandra during their main phase, by the time we get to their combat and the Ceratops attacks, I no longer have the extra mana. Because Seal Away only takes tapped things.
You want to play with fire, huh? Yup, you're going down. I don't need this.
We need to move quickly.
It's a pretty good draw.
You know what? I'm not done.
Well, that's great. White ley line doesn't really do anything. Does deck play Sphinx's Rev? No, we've already got a ton of clunky, expensive things in our deck.
Hold that thought.
Wait. We just hold this after we ult Teferi next turn and exile their whole board, right? huh?
Phase you out of the time stream.
Listen, chat, this deck might not be good, but it's definitely great. All of the lands. Christopher Donis, I think I might have missed that one. Thank you for the 16 months or so. Look back. One is not none. Teferi emblems still confirmed good. Or Jeskai land destruction. Yeah, something like that. This is the same person we played against earlier, so this might be another girl matchup. We've got double Abrade. These cards kind of suck, but I've got double Abrade on the play. This is definitely the person who was playing girl 2 matches ago. Look at that, chat. They've changed their ways. Born and Thrid. Yeah, the colors go like incredibly wonky on that animation, huh? Like missing the first time isn't unlikely. You want to build Bant Ramp control so you can Vorn clicks into Teferi. That actually sounds great, Beansy. That sounds truly lovely. That doesn't sound unreasonable to me at all. You get to just play Ugin. You get to play Ugin too because you're a ramp deck. You're fine, Puddle Jumper. Okay. Make it so. Sounds good. Do you want it over one of the other decks today and push one of the decks from today till next week? I can slot it in over Grixis or Mutate, if you'd like. I could probably just run long today, too. It's Friday. Christy doesn't have her afternoon meeting. Yeah, maybe we'll just do 4 decks today. Let's do that. Let's just do 4 decks today. Yeah, I'll put deck things in the stream title. This guy, control, Bant, Ram, Naya, Mutate, and Grixis, Bulky. I haven't, Lufos. I just know that they're delayed. I think they were trying to partner with websites to promote that they were giving away their core set, and I think they had issues with the last 2 sites that they had originally lined up for the promo. Nah, I'm pretty sure Jeskai Contoral is accurate. One of the nice things about putting Stonecoil Serpent under cast out is that I can blink this cast out with the Yorion down the line here and blink and get something else. I really wanted to draw a land there. Peak control deck is dying to creature lands you can't interact with. Draco, thanks for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the channel. This is where we're at in life, chat. Tails end your skulls +1/+1. Hey, Rich, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. We're super dead. Yeah, I don't know about this one, BZ. The more we've played this deck, the less good it's been. It's definitely felt like we hit a fluke the first day we played it, and it's just gotten dumpstered every day since. I don't know. I wouldn't call it not fun. I would definitely call it not good against these aggressive decks, though. I was kind of medium on it by the end of last week. I mean, like, sure, we've only played against aggro day, but, like, one, there's a lot of aggro in the format. So, like, Yeah, there's a lot of aggressive decks. These non-rotating formats tend to be a lot of aggro versus, like, polarization. There's extremes in these formats. Okay, as an opposing Yorion deck, these matchups should be pretty good for us. I think I'm Irrigated Farmlanding. More Ninja Breezy. And then next turn we'll get to cast double Rampant Growth, so that's nice. Now, I think our deck is probably the bigger fish in a lot of these Yorion matchups. Gearhulk plus what's it called? Sublime Epiphany is kind of hard to bigger fish. Now, opponents likely playing Sultai Ultimatum, or 4-color Ultimatum, or maybe 4-color Doom Foretold.
Right on schedule. Keep up the pace.
All right, so like here's the thing about the Yorion that people don't seem to get. If you cut 20 cards from these decks, you're not really adding consistency to anything other than Lotus Field, because there's just so many good cards you can play in these decks that I'm basically just going to be trimming 3rd and 4th copies of things. So, like, this isn't, like, guaranteeing winning us the game in key situations a lot of the time anyways. So, like, you're not really adding consistency by making that change in my experience, which is why I added Yorion to begin with. If you go back and look at the original deck we started with, it is just a giant pile of like 2s and 3-ofs. And you're right that explicitly getting Lotus Field Blood Sun occasionally is good. But, like, getting Lotus Field Blood Sun online faster isn't going to help us in all these aggro matchups where we died, right? Like, spending your 3rd turn to play a Blood Sun is shit against aggro. So, like, if you actually think about the problems that we're having in these sets, cutting the what's it called doesn't actually change anything. Like, it's not going to help us not die against aggro. Because a lot of the cards we're going to trim to get rid of the Yorion are going to be cards that are decent against aggro. Because you got to trim a little bit around everything. Now I'm going to try and use Gearhulk to Tails End this Narset. So I'm going to cut the Abrades and the Sealaways here against a control deck. I'm going to keep the Sweltering Suns because they cycle, just like a bad cantrip. Lambi, thanks for the follow. Good morning. Bring in a bunch of counter spells. Click submit. I think Sweltering Suns is much worse than Anger of the Gods. Can you explain why you think Sweltering Suns is worse than Anger of the Gods? What matchup specifically are you really excited to exile things in? Can you explain? Because fair warning, you're a new sub here, so I'm going to cut you some slack. But generally speaking, what you just did there, I would time people out for. You're just saying, basically, the subtext of your initial comment is, Jeff, your card decision is bad, but I'm not telling you why your card decision is bad. And I'll give you a counterexample. I think Sweltering Suns is better than Anger of the Gods because, like you see in this matchup right here, I don't have enough cards to board in the control matchup, so I get to instead keep my sweeper and cycle it. Anger of the Gods actually isn't very good against the sacrifice deck because of their deck name. They sacrifice their shit in response. But you weren't making conversation. You were making a statement that implies that my card decision is wrong. But that's what the implication of your statement is. You're looking at my card choice and you're making a statement that my card choice is bad and then not providing any justification of it. So like maybe that's not your intention, but that's the implication of your statement, and you should think about what you're implying. It's like think about it this way. You like walk up to someone who has a haircut you don't like, and you say, "Man, don't you think people with that haircut look really stupid?" And then they get offended, and you're like, "Well, no, I wasn't talking about your haircut. I was just talking about that haircut in general." It's like, well, come on now. Let's read between the lines here. I think I just leave this for now. We'll see if they give me something worth committing, and then we'll like end step cast this out probably. And giving them a couple of loots here is fine. I remember when my Magic was largely drafting with friends. We were all super excited to open copies of Thoughtseize out of our Lorwyn draft so we could sell them for $15 a copy. Because we could not fathom why you would want to pay 2 life for that effect. It was terrible. My life total was valuable.
Must have missed something.
We just draw a noodle here? I think we just draw a noodle here, right? With the stroke added to hand. So, mill in Historic's a pretty bad idea because there's so many decks in Historic that play out of their graveyard. So you'll end up just like setting your opponents up a lot of the time. Honestly, is it crazy to just like Valakut Awakening my noodle here? like the answer is no. I don't ever even really want to jam it anytime soon. Awakening your noodle is not allowed based on the terms of service. Stop it. Get some help. What a rude card, opponent. What a rude card. What did my hand ever do to you, opponent?
Against many foes, with thoughtfulness.
First off, how dare you? You can take the negate here.
Contain your rage.
All the decks we are playing today are already lined up. If this resolves, we get to wheel them. So, for reference, Torrential Gearhulk can flashback memory. Memories, all alone in the moonlight. Do 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 do. And I'm doing this during their draw step, so if they don't have 2 counter spells here, they're gonna lose their hand. They could have second counterspell here. If they have second counterspell, they don't get to thought distortion me though. Okay. Like it's not all bad. They don't get to thought distortion me this turn at least.
You are a mighty warrior. I concede.
Yeah, weird that they didn't just stroke the Gearhulk, for sure.
If I don't have a plan, I'll just make one. Time to improvise.
Yep. Should have just believed, chat. That's what we were looking for, because we need to be able to stop this thought distortion, right? Belly, thanks for the follow. And like again, I'm glad we got to show off this deck in a grindier matchup. So I do think that our deck devours blue-white control and other Yorion decks. Like, I don't think our deck's just bad. I think it's tough. It's tough against the aggro decks, though. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Started using a second monitor so I could be more consistent, wasting my time on Twitch while pretending to study. God bless.
I do love a good puzzle.
SCG tournaments again today. I forgot about that. Third verse, same as the first. A little bit louder and a whole lot worse.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
I can do this all day, opponent. Oh no! Oh shit! I messed up. Oh, I forgot that this was phased out. Are we gonna die because I messed up? I think we're gonna die because I messed up. That's fine. I have memories here. It's gonna be okay. Oh, it exiles my graveyard too? Really? Wow, shit. Okay, yeah, we're dead. We're dead because I punted. I was in my head, I was Sublime Epiphanying this because it was still in play. But it's definitely got the little swirlies around it. Phasing and protection, two completely intuitive mechanics that we definitely needed to bring back into Magic the Gathering. All right, should have played. If I play my Teferi there, we probably end up okay. I could have also, actually what probably should have happened is my mistake there was I should have memoried the shark token to let me kill their Teferi 2 attacks previously. I didn't say Teferi was a bad design allure. I said phasing is a confusing and awkward mechanic because of how it works. So I didn't say the design was bad if you listen to the words that came out of my mouth. I said, for example, my card sitting there on the battlefield but not actually being there is an awkward design choice. Which is definitely the case. Yeah, it's a mechanic that's not super common either. Yeah, I guess I don't really know what I would want the arena interface to do, but I feel like leaving my card specifically on the battlefield exactly where it is. I get that, like, mechanically that's correct, but from the purpose of, like, helping your player understand what's going on in their board state, it's not great. The opacity is different. There's opacity and there's a circle over it. Okay, well, now I get to do this. And then I can negate their counterspell, and then we get to untap Lotus Field land and still have commit up. God, I hate this card. It's so fucking toxic. I am so glad this card is not standard legal. Yeah, I can't imagine playing this deck, Beansy. It's just, I'm gonna be done after this match. In fact, I'm just gonna be done now. It's just, it's so vomit inducing. There's just, yeah, I don't want to play this anymore. Let's build Bant. Building Bant sounds like a sweet proactive ramp deck. This Jeskai deck is just poopy. I just like, you get punked by aggro, and then you get, if people want to beat you by playing a bunch of vetoes and other can't be countered cards, you just get got, so.